So now let's move on to the Philadelphia 76ers, who has made some moves, minor moves this year. Well,
Well,
the top dogs are still there, Embiid and Harden.
I would think that this is basically the core and the rotation of Philly. But if you look at it, just scanning through it, you would see a big hole behind Joel Embiid. Uh, I mean, who's Philip Petrusev? I know Philip Petrusev. He's a rookie, but I mean, I don't think he's the guy that's gonna be backing him up off the bench. Maybe it's Paul Reed or Charles
Yeah.
Passy, but even those two are raw as and not raw, young as they come and not really proven. And then of course who's starting there? PJ Tucker, who is a veteran who I don't know if he can last the whole 82 games, although he's tough. So the depth here not very inspiring, if you could say so.
Yeah, I want to talk about Tobias for a bit.
Mm,
Tobias is what we call included in that not so sexy picks, right? Not so sexy, but very efficient type of player. Well, that was before last year. Last year, it's safe to say he was a disappointment, I guess.
yes, safe to say.
So now, the question in my mind now is, how are you going to treat him now? Is it I'm pretty sure he's one of those. This Tobias is probably the favorite of those managers who want safe, not really safer picks. But how do you treat this now with Tobias? Do you think he used to be what, fourth round, late third maybe,
Yeah,
fourth round value
he was
before?
40s in the 40s range last year. That's not gonna happen. He should be in the 70s this year. He should be in the 70s.
So
And
that's a big drop.
I yeah, but he was basically 60 to something 60 plus to 70 last year. He ended up at that range, if I'm not mistaken. And if you talked about Anthony Towns speaking, Tobias is not peaking.
He's
Carl Anthony
dropping.
Towns peak. Tobias is on his way down. And yeah, the only thing that works for him here is the depth of Philadelphia. They don't have much good, intriguing players behind him. So that's the only thing that's really working for him. But if you got risky players in the early rounds, I would not be against picking Tobias in the 6th round for you, in the 5th or in the 6th round, to give you some stability in your roster. His stats would be what it is. I don't think it will change much. The scoring will drop. The scoring will drop because of someone we're gonna talk about later, which is Tyrese Maxey. But outside of that, I think everything else will be mostly the same. Same old boring Toby. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So seventh round is where Commish thinks he should be. And
No,
I think
the
that's
70s. 70s,
70s. Yeah.
that's 6th round.
Sixth round.
6th round, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where Tobias should be, or at least what we think he should be. So don't reach for him too high. The reason why his scoring has dropped is because of this. Scoring wise, this Philly team is loaded. You have Joel Embiid, you have Harden. Those two guys would be staple. I don't think there's really much to talk about those two players. Maybe Harden being a first rounder, where some might think he has, he is a little past his prime already. But Commish thinks he still has a lot to give. So it's really where you think Harden is. I mean, we haven't really seen the healthy and the Harden. I don't think he'll be the Houston Harden that he used to be.
He's also peaked. It's
peaked, but in fairness to him, he can contribute in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
and that helps his value.
His peak though was so high that even if his climb was going down from the peak, he's still a top 5 player in my opinion. And he's still gonna give you the free throws, the assists, the scoring, and some defensive stats, which is very underrated with James Harden. And he's in shape, and as we mentioned in one of our episodes, he's very motivated. He wants to win. He gave up some dollars because he wants to be competitive this year. So yeah, Harden is a good top 5, top 6 pick this year.
So do you think he would still be better than maybe LaMelo, Tyrese,
I think so. Yeah.
or even Dame?
Yeah. Might not be as big a difference as before, but I still have him projected higher than those guys. He's in my top 5. So
Yeah, I know.
I think he's better.
Yeah, I know. The other guy that you said was the most intriguing here is Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
He's good, but the concern I always have is that this is loaded offensively. This team is loaded offensively. I'm a little bit worried about this. I know the potential is there, the ceiling is higher, but can he reach that ceiling with Philly?
He won't reach the ceiling. If he gets traded to, let's say, I don't know,
they won't trade
Indiana
him.
or San
I don't think they
Antonio or
trade him.
Houston. Oh, he's gonna explode. But even last year, he was a good player last year. 18 points a game is not bad. He can't steal. He hasn't shown his ability to steal. So it's really threes, assists, and then points. And then he's a very good field goal shooter for a point guard. He's 48%. So those things are still valuable. If he can improve his steals rate, it's gonna be even better. So even if he just continues to in that path, he showed it last year. Philly did not add anybody of that has high usage or will score a lot of points. So the roster is basically what it was last year. I don't think Daniel House or the other people here would really be a big difference. So Maxey should be able to be one of those late round players you can add if you're down on points. Sort of like a
Wait,
Tyler
I have a
Hero.
question though.
Yeah.
Would you like the potential of Maxey over Tobias? Or you still like Tobias more?
This year I think I still have Tobias higher than Maxey. Because
really?
I'm not. Yes, Tobias is still top 70. Maxey, I don't know if his ceiling this year would reach the 60 to 70. I mean, that might be his ceiling because of, as you said, unless an injury happens to Harden or to Embiid, then, he can become a 24, 25 point scorer. But outside of that, his steals and assists are not yet that high for me to go Maxey over Harris for now. So unless there's an injury, if there's an injury, we know Maxey can step in. But without that, I'll go steady Toby for now. But it's not too far off anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I know this is going to be an anticlimactic end, but players like the Anthony Melton, Matisse Thybulle, Thybulle is probably, last year I think he got overrated. One of the overrated players last year because the steals and the blocks rate weren't as good. Still good, but not worth a draft pick, I guess. Melton though played quite well last year.
Yes,
these are two favorites of a lot of fantasy managers who hasn't really lived to the potential that managers feel, right?
Not yet.
Yeah,
but he was able to have some good stretch compared to before. So at least it wasn't a total bust for Melton.
Melton is the type of player, the type of fantasy player wherein he plays really good, and then managers would think this is it, this is Melton's time. Analysts even say that this is it, this is why I like Melton's game. And then once analysts would say that, or managers would feel that, his game drops, or he's not going to be used.
But it's a different team. It's a good start. It's a new start for him. Again, looking at the depth chart, not much ironically, not much depth here. So he should be the main backup point guard. He can also be the backup of Harden. He can even play small forward. I think he affects Tybul a lot because both of them are defensive players. Both of them steals a lot, and same skill set. Basically, only he's smaller. But Melton is not like Tybul who doesn't score.
Yeah.
So
I was just about to say.
I'm gonna go Melton. Outside of Harden, Embiid, Maxey, and then Harris, I would go Melton. I would go Melton and nobody else here. I would go Melton. I'm not even drafting Tybul. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm done with
me too.
Tybul.
I'm done with that. Yeah, I think steals and block rate. I think Tybal still has the higher potential, but like you said, he doesn't do anything else. So might as well go with.
Going back to the Melton, to the Maxey Harris thing. Look, thinking back, yeah, maybe Maxey can be higher than Toby this year. It's just that steady Toby will be more safe. If there's such a thing.
Yeah,
but
Tyrese would be the high risk, high reward type of.
Yeah. But they're very, as I said, they're very close. Maxey could easily go to top 60 this year, so they're very close. They're very close.
All right. So yeah, that's it for. Any surprise you think Paul Reed could surprise us? He's a fan favorite.
If you're really gonna go deep, it's Paul Reed. I'm waiting for another signing. I don't know if Dwight Howard will be signed to be backing up Joel Embiid, or I don't know, DeMarcus Cousins suddenly gets signed here. We pending those things. It's just nobody else here that can back up Embiid, and we know he's an injury-prone guy. So there must be a plan, and I think Paul Reed. If there's no plan, then it's Paul Reed. Paul Reed is somebody to watch out for. He
exactly a favorite of the coach.
Well, but Paul Reed has some Chris Boucher in him, even in the G League. Yeah, so watch out for Paul Reed.
He's also not a favorite.
Yeah, but his stat set in the G League is very fantasy friendly.